not belonging. Because the adoptee is living in a place where they are not mirrored or reflected, they begin to feel as if they don't belong, don't fit in. They are confused by the conflict between their genetic self, which is authentic but not reflected, and their adaptive self, which feels false, but is more encouraged and accepted. The sense of not fitting in, not belonging, of being reminded over and over again that one is not like those with whom one is living creates a sense of alienation, or a form of trauma which is chronic or prolonged. This can be true even in families where there is a consistent nurturing and care. And it is true for adoptees who have not been told that they are adopted. The more there is a difference in the basic personality of the adoptee and the parents, the more traumatic the struggle becomes. There is a constant, desperate attempt to try to figure out how one is supposed to be in this family in order to fit in. In what possible way can adoptive family resemble a concentration camp or a prison? First of all, no matter how alienated the adoptee feels, until they are old enough to run away, there is no escape from the situation. Herman says, in situations of captivity, the perpetrator becomes the most powerful person in the life of the victim, and the psychology of the victim is shaped by the actions and beliefs of the perpetrator who relentlessly demands from their victim professions of respect, gratitude, or even love. Not all adoptees feel like captives in their adoptive families, but I have heard from enough of them who do think that this category is applicable. Whereas many adoptees feel genuinely loved and respected by their adoptive parents for who they are, there are some who feel as if they have been used to fulfill their parents' wishes for a child, without the regard of who they are or how different they may be from the parents. Ooh, that is true. These adoptees express attitudes very similar to the last statement by Herman, where they feel that their lives were manipulated by people to whom they are not related, but who expect gratitude, respect, and love. So this is a reason why a lot of us hate the word grateful, because it's forced and not freely given. And no one should demand gratefulness. Okay, whether you're biological or adoptive, you cannot demand gratefulness from your child. Okay, let's be clear. All right, continuing on. Although some adoptive parents are aware that a person's personality may be genetic and that adoptees are not a blank slate when they come into their lives, others have the idea that they can mold or convert the child, capture their inner mind, and reshape their allegiances. In sometimes subtle and sometimes not so subtle ways, the parents may let the child know that any allegiance to their birth family is not all right, which is not true. They must sacrifice this relationship, however much a fantasy it might be. In trying to be like the members of the adoptive family, the child destroys a sense of self. Innate characteristics begin to atrophy. Some adoptees try to hang on to a sense of self by fighting, while others may appear to be malleable, not changing their true character but just shutting down. Their behavior is different from their personality. Often, they unconsciously choose a role that they can enact. When activities alien to the family are seen as insubordination, the child's initiative, planning, and implementation become constricted. Adhering to the rules of the adoptive family, the adoptee may have been asked, if it weren't for us, where would you be? Oh, I hate that. The question reinforces the idea that they might have died as a result of abandonment. The adoptee's sense of abandonment is often experienced as a kind of death. Not only is there fear of death, but the adoptee is made to feel grateful for being allowed to live. This mirrors the reactions of prisoners of concentration camps, where the prisoner is made to feel grateful for being allowed to live, as they begin to identify with their captors. There are often alternate alterations between intense attachment and terrified withdrawal. Just as with other captives, time is altered both by the original trauma and by experience in the adoptive family. The past, the genetic past, is obliterated, and the adoptee may be discouraged from trying to find out about it. By obliterating the past, the link to the future becomes tenuous. Memory, like hope, brings back the yearning for all that is lost. Quoted by Herman. For the future to exist, back the yearning for all that... For the future to exist, the past must also exist. But in closed adoption, the past has been completely erased by means of false birth certificate and closed records. In closed adoptions, identity is contaminated by secrecy and lies. So I just want to make a note that while open adoptions are a little bit less secret, that still those access to vital records is still closed and falsified. So just making that note. Okay. Where were we? In closed adoptions, identity is contaminated by secrecy and lies. The child's personal history now includes the sense of the captive self. This leads to preoccupations with shame, self-loathing, and a sense of failure. As if the adoptee could have somehow escaped the captivity, many adoptees report waiting for rescuers when they were children. They were paradoxically elated and fearful of these fantasies. I can tell you, even with a good experience, I definitely had those fantasies. So, yeah, not alone in that. Feeling like prisoners in their adoptive homes is not the case for all adoptees, or even most adoptees. My guess is that more likely to be true when there is a bad fit between personalities, proclivities of the adoptee and their parents. The less they are mirrored, the more alien they feel, and the more they feels as if they need to get out of that alien space. This is the fault of neither the adoptee nor the parents. It is something which happens as a result of the hodgepodge way in which adoptions are accomplished. There may be no good way of determining the relative fit between adoptee's authentic self and their adoptive parent selves, but there are certainly needs to be more taken care of to the parents' understanding of issues like this. If adoptees cannot be mirrored, at least they have a right to be understood. Let us not forget the effect captivity has on birth mothers, who were often hidden in work-wage homes or spirited away from friends and family to unwed mothers' homes, isolated and literally held captive by the shaming mechanisms of society. Birth mothers were isolated with their unborn children from any other source of information, emotional support, or maternal aid. Many birth mothers lost faith in their ability to make decisions. Their ability to trust their own judgment was often shattered. So please go back, listen to The Girls Who Went Away. If I haven't already finished posting all the chapters by the time this posts, then they will be posted shortly. I am working on catching up on everything, but it's definitely eye-opening to that part, that birth mother experience. Anyway, I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you guys next time for Blaming the Victim.